Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my channel Revealing Concepts. In today's class, we would be learning about the evolution of international relations. International relation ये जो concept है, ये actually शुरू कैसे हुआ and how did things turn about right from World War I till today and इसके बीच में किसने क्या role play किया, what all things, what all new policies, new organizations came and what did each one of them had their role to play in this evolution is something that we are going to study in today's video. Again, this is a video which would be conveyed to you in different phases, meaning I would be explaining the entire concept in phases form. So I hope you all are ready and eager to know about the evolution of the international relations. Again, this is not restricted just to India. I'm talking about the overall concept of international relations. So let's begin. The evolution of international relations began with the domination of realism. अभी जब हम रियलिज्म की बात करते हैं तो रियलिज्म और लिबरलिज्म ये दोनों डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट्स है, डिफरेंट टर्मिनोलॉजीज है और हम इस एंटायर इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन की जो थ्योरी है उसमें इन्हीं दो आइडियोलॉजीज का राइज एंड फॉल दिखेंगे. मीनिंग देयर वुड बी सम phase wherein the realism is going to dominate, then there would come some phase where both are going to coexist, and then there is one phase where liberalism is going to take up the charge और चीजें change होंगी. So when I say realism, you need to understand कि realism मतलब जहाँ पे लोगों की आइडियोलॉजी यही होती है कि कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, कोऑपरेशन नहीं हो सकता है. Whereas when you talk about liberalism, it is of course it is identifying or it is acknowledging the fact that there is conflict, but yes, in spite of the conflicts that are there is cooperation which we should focus on. So realism जहाँ पे conflict पे फोकस करता है, आइडियलिज्म जो है वो कॉपरेशन पे फोकस करता है. यस, इट इज ट्रू कि रियलिज्म जो है वो कॉपरेशन में बिलीव ही नहीं करता, बट आइडियलिज्म डू रिकॉग्नाइज द एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, बट इट्स मेन फोकस इज कॉपरेशन. सो फेज 1 में जो है वो इट्स द डोमिनेशन ऑफ रियलिज्म और ये शुरू होता है वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 के टाइम से. सो टिल वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 देयर वाज नो लिबरलिज्म एट ऑल. वी ऑल नो दैट कंट्रीज एंड नेशंस वर इन constant conflicts with each other. So their focus was just conflict, security and arms race. हमें एक दूसरे से लड़ना है, खुद को सिक्योर करना है, मैक्सिमम वेपन्स को हमें अपने पास लेना है, and that was the focus. Now during this time, during the World War I, the entire world was in a great chaos. करना क्या है? उसी टाइम पे I would say that in Europe, the religious war between the Catholics and the Protestants it began. एंड उस टाइम पे एक सोल्यूशन के तौर पे ट्रीटी ऑफ वेस्टफीलिया को साइन किया गया था 1948 में. यही ट्रीटी ऑफ वेस्टफीलिया जो है हमारे इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में बड़ा ही इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करती है. दिस इज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द सो कॉल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस. ये जो ट्रीटी ऑफ वेस्टफीलिया है, आई वुड वंस अगेन रिपीट, इट वाज based on the war, the religious war that was going on in Europe between the Protestants and the Catholics. तो उनका जो प्रॉब्लम था उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए, जहां पे the religious leaders used to rule the world, so now the common masses wanted something substantial in their hand. तो उन चीजों को सॉल्व करने के लिए ये ट्रीटी ऑफ वेस्टफीलिया जो है वो आई और वहां से वी वुड से दैट रियलिज्म की शुरुआत हो गई. इस टाइम पे लिबरलिज्म नहीं था, कुछ भी नहीं था वी वुड से, बट नाउ ट्रीटी ऑफ वेस्टफीलिया गिव राइज टू द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रियलिज्म. यहाँ पे उन्होंने बोला कि इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस रिलीजियस लीडर्स देयर वुड बी द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ नेशन स्टेट एंड सॉवरेनिटी. एक नेशन स्टेट होगा, उस नेशन स्टेट को रूल करने के लिए एक प्रॉपर गवर्नमेंट सेटअप किया जाएगा एंड यू नीड टू मेंटेन द सॉवरेनिटी ऑफ योर नेशन स्टेट. सो नेशन स्टेट एंड सॉवरेनिटीज वर द टू solutions that were been put forth by the Treaty of Westphalia in 1948. Now they did give their solutions कि nation state है, sovereignty है, but again we humans we have this habit of complicating things. तो अभी जो rulers थे they were like yes we did get the status of a nation state, but now how are we supposed to protect our own sovereignty? हमें खुद को प्रोटेक्ट भी करना है, खुद की सॉवरेनिटी को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, अदरवाइज एनी अदर कंट्री वुड इजीली कम एंड अटैक ऑन अस. सो उसके लिए उन्होंने क्या किया, तो अभी रूलर्स का कंसर्न जो था वो शिफ्ट हो गया सॉवरेनिटी पे। एक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई, रिलीजियस लीडर्स को रिप्लेस करके नेशन स्टेट का कॉन्सेप्ट लाया। नाउ द नेशन स्टेट में जो रूलर्स थे उनकी अभी वरी, उनका अभी कंसर्न था हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू मेंटेन योर सॉवरेनिटी, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू मेंटेन योर इंडिपेंडेंस। सो उसके लिए दे वर ऑलवेज we would say that I would say that वो हमेशा डाउट में रहते थे. So there was always a trust deficit between two nations, that this nation might attack me, okay, the other nation might attack me. So इसकी वजह से what they resorted to is they thought that offense would be the new defense, meaning किसी और ने अटैक करने से पहले we are going to attack the nation. And this is how I would say that there was chaos that was continued in some or the other manner. So abhi, since offense was the defense, meaning the nation had to attack the other nations, attack करने के लिए कुछ तो चाहिए अपने पास. So that is why there started arms race and use of weapons. Conventional, non-conventional weapons की जो arms race होती है वो शुरू हो गई. So यहाँ से हमें समझ में आता है कि Treaty of Westphalia के साइन होने के बाद जो nation state and sovereignty का concept rise हुआ था उसको maintain करने के लिए अभी rulers ने शुरू किया arms race and use of weapons. And this was again a chaotic state only. इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो उभरने के बाद पीपल, देयर वाज नो पीस, there was this arms race conflicts that were going on. So this was all about phase 1. Now let's move on to phase 2, wherein the entry of liberal thoughts happen. अभी यहाँ पे सिर्फ लिबरलिज्म की एंट्री हो रही है, लेकिन रियलिज्म इज गोइंग टू स्टिल डोमिनेट. यहाँ पे रियलिज्म था पक्का पक्का, यहाँ पे भी है, but yes, now there is arrival of liberalism, कुछ हो पाया. Now how it happened? इस टाइम पे कुछ international organizations like League of Nations, which back then worked to resolve conflicts between nations, to bring out peace among nations, तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट आया. तो लिबरलिज्म में एज आई टोल्ड यू कॉपरेशन फोकस है, तो लीग ऑफ नेशन उस पे ही फोकस करता था. देन देयर वाज दिस पर्सन वुड्रो विल्सन हु केम अप विथ 14 पॉइंट स्ट्रेटजी, जिसमें ही वन ऑफ हिज पॉइंट वाज फ्री ट्रेड. नाउ व्हाई डिड ही फोकस ऑन फ्री ट्रेड? अगेन, अगर हम कंट्रीज के साथ फ्री ट्रेड करेंगे, टैरिफ free trade we would say, then in that case cooperation is something that would be enhanced between the two countries. तो उन्होंने ये free trade वाला concept put forth किया. So if you see again this aligns with the definition of liberalism. So ये he put forth this, ठीक है. Now next thing is there started trade and human movement. People to people ties started rising up. There were people who went from one country to another for trade and for other things as well. But उसी time पे happened Great Depression 1929 में. This date is wrong. It's 1648. It's not 1948. It's 1648. So yes. So यहाँ पे Great Depression हुआ 1929 में, which was a setback to the entry of liberalism. यहाँ पे अगर हम देखें तो 1929 में जो ग्रेट डिप्रेशन आया था उसकी वजह से फिर से रियलिज्म जो है वो बढ़ने लगा. सी, लिबरलिज्म मेड इट्स वे, एंट्री उसकी हो गई थी, बट अगेन व्हाट हैपेंड वाज ग्रेट डिप्रेशन की वजह से देयर वाज इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. एवरी नेशन हैड टू bear the brunt of this great depression, and that is why again the nation states they resorted to realism. उनको लगा कि now there is lot of instability, इसके बीच में वापस से any other state would attack us, and that is why in realism now came protectionism. ये बढ़ा. Now what is protectionism? Tariffs, trade barriers, not letting the other nations to enter. So red tapeism, and all of this grew to a great extent such that no nation was easily being able to enter into the other nation in terms of trade or any other things. So protectionism इस time पे बहुत बढ़ गया. I would say that every nation used to think just about itself and not letting any other nation to enter into that particular nation. Now during this time only World War II happened. Again the world went into a more chaotic state, and उसी time पे came the rise of nuclear weapon happened. Now, not just the arms race was there, but at the same time, now countries were after these nuclear weapons also. This was a very lethal discovery, to be honest. And abhi yahan pe, if you see in phase 2, yes, these international organizations, this liberal thinking, या फिर ये trade and human movement जो हुई थी, it was good. It was a positive indication. But at the same time, a more chaotic world was forming in terms of World War II or nuclear weapons ki discovery. So here we saw the entry of liberalism and how realism still dominated. Now let's move on to phase number 3. Phase number 3 is the coexistence of liberalism and realism. I will make you understand how both of them coexisted. तो आपको ये बात जानने की जरूरत है कि see, liberalism is something which was there right from the beginning. So eradication of liberalism is not an easy job. So first it was there, फिर liberalism की entry हो गई, and now both of them are coexisting. Let's see what happens ahead. So यहाँ पे liberalism and realism, they coexisted. Meaning what happened, by the end of World War II, now we shifted on to the Cold War. So Cold War was between two nations, जिनके उनके अपने अपने जो थे फ्रेंड्स थे, अलाइज थे. सो यहाँ पे कोल्ड वॉर वाज बिटवीन यूएसए एंड यूएसएसआर और रशिया, आई वुड से. सो इट्स यूएसएसआर, द सोवियत यूनियन. सो यूएसए एंड यूएसएसआर के बीच में कोल्ड वॉर था. नाउ इफ यू सी, यूएसए एंड यूएसएसआर के बीच में जो था, दैट वाज रियलिज्म. इट वाज अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, right? But there were countries who were in support of USA, there were countries who were in support of USSR. So within the members there was liberalism, in दोनों के बीच में there was realism. Now USA was a country which focused on liberalism with capitalism. लिबरलिज्म एंड कैपिटलिज्म पे ये फोकस करता था, एंड यूएसएसआर लाइक ऑलवेज फोकस्ड ऑन सोशलिज्म, मीनिंग द गवर्नमेंट इज गोइंग टू हैंडल एवरीथिंग. हियर प्राइवेट कंपनीज would have a hand to interfere into the market and also do a lot of things into the economic market. So again, Cold War के time पे ये दो USA and USSR were against each other, leading to realism. But within members of USA and USSR there was liberalism. इस time पे इंडिया का जो रोल था वो क्या था? Now India at this time was a newly independent nation. उनको नया नया independence मिला था, and that is why India now did not want again to be the puppet of somebody else's hand. And that is why India के जैसे और newly independent nations like Africa, they all came together and उन्होंने एक नॉन अलाइनमेंट मूवमेंट शुरू किया, एक नॉन अलाइंड मूवमेंट शुरू किया उन्होंने. नाउ व्हाट डिड दिस मूवमेंट से? दैट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू टेक एनी स्टैंड, वी आर नाइदर विथ यूएसए, वी आर नॉर विथ रशिया. Clearly they said it because they wanted to maintain their strategic autonomy. Recently, newly they had got their independence, and now again they did not want anybody to dominate over them or to guide their economic policies or any other policies for that matter. इसलिए इंडिया ने जो स्टैंड लिया था वो था नॉन अलाइनमेंट मूवमेंट का, अलाइन मूवमेंट का. यहाँ पे कुछ एग्जांपल्स है लिबरलिज्म के. जैसे इसी टाइम पे देयर वाज द शेंगेन अग्रीमेंट व्हिच वाज बीन साइंड, which actually facilitated free movement between the European nations. So this was, an example of liberalism. Then the Stockholm Convention which took place in 1972 for the environment cooperation के हिसाब से ये हम समझ सकते हैं. Bretton Woods institutions like the World Bank, IMF, they came into existence. Again, उधर nation states को cooperate करके ही रहना है. So that was again an example of liberalism. And there was this Marshall Plan which was basically been put forth by USA for the economic upliftment, for the development in the war ravaged European nations. So यहाँ पे if you see, realism तो exist करता था in a very cold manner in terms of Cold War, but ये सारे examples थे liberalism के. So this was a phase जहाँ पे there was coexistence of liberalism and realism. Now let's move on to phase 4. Now phase 4 starts from 1990 to 2008, and this is the victory of liberalism. यहाँ पे properly liberalism की entry हो गई थी. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ कि यूएस की पॉलिटी जो थी, इट वाज बेस्ड ऑन द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी, वेर इन द हेड वुड बी इलेक्टेड बाय द पीपल. Also, their economic policy was based on globalization, reaching to different nations and not just restricting to itself. They focused on free trade and capitalism. Now, when you talk about free trade, the other nations were having a liberal entry into USA. Capitalism is where the private, members would also have a role to play in the economic market of USA. So democracy and globalization, ये दोनों ऐसे political and economic policies थे USA के, जिसके वजह से world got influenced, and that is why the world thought कि अब तक तो ये सब कुछ करते ही आए हैं, now let's try something new. We saw realism ने कुछ ज्यादा अच्छा किया नहीं है, so let's go for liberalism. And at that time only there was fall of USSR. USSR उस टाइम पे there was fall of USSR, and USSR से अभी बना रशिया, and even at that time Russia adopted open economy because even Russia knew कि this is such a crucial time, this is such a sensitive time जहाँ पे we cannot keep on experimenting. We have seen that USA is doing good, so we need to adopt the concept of open economy. उसी टाइम पे happened the entry of World Trade Organization. So World Trade Organization की वजह से क्या हुआ, economic interdependence हुआ. So जहाँ पे now where the countries used to fight with each other, there was no cooperation, no interdependence. Now due to the entry and victory of liberalism happened the economic interdependence, जो शायद यहाँ पे बहुत impossible लग रहा था. Now but again ये सब कुछ अच्छा ही हो रहा था, but there were certain issues which were existing along with the time. So there was rise in global issues, जैसे कि now every country was trying to develop itself. So industries बोलो या कुछ और बोलो, because of that there was climate change that was happening, cyber security की problem थी, so and of course terrorism existed. So these were certain persistent problems which every country faced. Terrorism bolo, cyber security bolo, या फिर climate change bolo, this was all happening during this time. So again, since this was the phase of liberalism, so यहाँ पे इन global issues का जो solution था वो भी क्या था, cooperation. So people tried cooperating with each other, nations tried to cooperate with each other. उन्होंने different climate organizations बनाए, terrorists को eliminate करने के लिए treaties बनाए, organizations बनाए, wherein now eliminating terrorism or bringing out changes into the climatic pattern is not something that can be done by one state. All the nation states have to come together and bring out solutions to the table, and that is what these people did. They did cooperate with each other in terms of climate change, terrorism, cyber security, etc. and उसकी वजह से हम लोग कहते हैं कि ये वाला जो फेज है ये लिबरलिज्म का फेज है. यहाँ पे लिबरलिज्म बड़े ही at a large level it was existing. Now comes phase number 5. Again victory तो होगी, but it's difficult to maintain the same state. So there was crisis of liberalism. 2009 to 2021 was the period where there was crisis of liberalism. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? यहाँ पे first we will see कि there was a power shift. Till 2008, China was nowhere in the picture. It was doing its own work in a very silent manner. People did not even knew what exactly China was doing. But whatever it was doing, it was tremendous. It was amazing. And in 2009, there was a power shift from Atlantic Ocean, मतलब USA से लेकर Indo-Pacific, meaning China and Russia. Even India for that matter now. So there was a power shift. US retreated. Now why did US retreated? Because again there was this 2008 global financial crisis which took place in USA itself. It did not just impact USA, it impacted the entire world economy to a great extent. So ये जो global financial crisis था, इसके वजह से US का डाउनफॉल हो गया. इसकी वजह से ये पावर शिफ्ट हो गया अटलांटिक से इंडो पैसिफिक में. Before 2008, there was this organization, there was this union called G7, Group of Seven. Now, this Group of Seven consisted of 7 countries, which were the southern nations, the developed countries. लेकिन उसके बाद केम ब्रिक्स, केम G20 nations, where even the developing countries got their role to play. China, India, all of them, they came into picture. Now these were the developing countries who never got a role to play in the world politics when USA was at the forefront. But after 2009, even due to BRICS and due to organizations like G20, India, China, they all got their roles to play into the international relations to a great extent. यहाँ पे एक और थियोरी है जो which has been applied, which is the hegemonic stability theory. Now what does this theory mean? कि hegemon जो होता है, the hegemon meaning the one who wants to gain control over something. So and in order to become a hegemon, it's always a conflict between two of them. So between USA and China, it was USA who was always the hegemon back at that time. आज वो वैसा केस नहीं है. So if you see, the hegemonic stability theory says that according to the world order, there is one hegemon at a time and the other one is trying to replace it. Now when you have one hegemon at the top, there is stability in the world. ठीक है, बट उसी टाइम पे एक और नेशन, एक और एंटिटी वुड वांट टू बिकम द हेजेमन, व्हिच इन टुडेस केस इज चाइना, एंड ओवर द टाइम दिस अपकमिंग हेजेमन रिप्लेसेस द ओरिजिनल हेजेमन और द फर्स्ट हेजेमन, और अगेन वो स्टेबिलिटी का सिलसिला चलता रहता है. सो यही कुछ यहाँ पे हो रहा था. यूएसए ड्यू टू ग्लोबल फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस नाउ रिट्रीटेड. इट वाज नॉट a hegemon anymore, and now it was China who was trying to become a hegemon. So यही है. So new hegemony was China. इसका एक एग्जाम्पल है कि जो मार्शल प्लान था अभी उसको चाइना रिप्लेस कर रहा था by its Belt and Road Initiative. Under this initiative, China is trying to have infrastructures in different nations. कुछ जगह वो नेवी पोर्ट्स कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे हैं, कुछ जगह रेलवे ट्रैक्स कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे हैं, so that it would have its presence in those nations. So Belt and Road Initiative is something which is new into the market nowadays. इस टाइम पे अगेन इंडिया का क्या रोल था? USA always saw India as an ideal swing state. USA thought that India एक बैलेंसर का रोल प्ले कर सकता है between USA and China. Because yes, even though we have our own conflicts with China with respect to border issues, like the Galvin Valley incident, the Siachen Glacier वाला incident, but उसके अलावा हमारा बहुत सारा ट्रेड भी होता है चाइना से. At the same time, we are in good relations with USA as well. So USA को लगा कि India would be an ideal swing state between these two conflicting nations. वो एक बैलेंसर की तरह अपना रोल प्ले करेगा. इसी टाइम पे ब्रेक्सिट भी हुआ था. ब्रिटेन ने यूरोपियन यूनियन से अपनी एग्जिट ले ली थी. सो देयर वाज इंस्टेबिलिटी एट दैट टाइम, एंड द फाइनल ब्लो वाज कोविड-19. केम द पैंडेमिक, जिसकी वजह से अगेन द एंटायर ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी वाज शेकन अप टू अ ग्रेट एक्सटेंट. सो दिस इज व्हाट वाज एग्जिस्टिंग इन टिल 2021. अगर हम देखें, लिबरलिज्म था लेकिन कुछ खास अच्छा हो नहीं रहा था. हेजेमन्स राइज अप हो रहे थे, इकोनॉमी थोड़ी शेकन अप हो गई थी बिकॉज ऑफ पैंडेमिक्स एक्सेट्रा. नाउ केम phase number 6, which is the global plus regional shift. यहाँ पे, as I told you, now there was a power shift from Atlantic to Indo-Pacific, from USA to China, और आज भी वही हो रहा है. We still do not know how powerful China is or how powerful USA is for that matter, but there was a power shift. Humanitarian crisis आज भी हो रहे हैं, wars आज भी हो रहे हैं. So this is today's time. So there is this Russia-Ukraine war. There is Israel-Hamas war. There are civilian wars that have been going on in Yemen, in Syria. Houthi rebels है जो Red Sea में तबाही मचा रहे हैं, I would say. तो ये सारे humanitarian crisis है, war है. गाजा में if you see, there is a severe famine that those people are suffering from. So ये अभी exist कर रहा है. ना पहले इफ यू सी सारे जगह पर यूएसए 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 या फिर चाइना यूएसए यही था. सो फ्रॉम अ पोलर वर्ल्ड, यूनिपोलर वर्ल्ड से अभी हम जा रहे हैं मल्टीपोलैरिटी पे, मीनिंग चाइना भी है, रशिया भी है, इंडिया भी है, अदर नेशंस भी है. सो नाउ मल्टीपोलैरिटी इज समथिंग दैट्स एग्जिस्टिंग. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, now there is something that needs to be paid attention to is deglobalization. हमारा deglobalization का जो एक example है, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now we are trying to become self-reliant, and Atmanirbhar Bharat is by the end of 2047 is what we are trying to achieve. So likewise, all other nations are trying at their own level to deglobalize, to reduce their dependency on other nations for trade, for defense purpose, etc. At the same time, protectionism, iska best example is the India-US tariff war that is going on. The tariffs that are being imposed on India by USA. So that is an example of protectionism, और ये USA हर country के साथ कर रहा है. So this is ongoing, and now there is a diminished global cooperation. Slowly again, we are diminishing the concept of liberalism by our actions itself. United Nations को USA ने funding देना बंद कर दिया है. Like this, there are many organizations जो USA fund करता था, but now USA has stopped funding this global organizations. So all in all, if you see, currently we are again in a chaotic state, chaotic phase only. ऐसा कोई phase नहीं था जहाँ पे stability थी, खुशियाँ थी, अच्छा चल रहा था. Every phase had its own pros and cons, good phase, bad phase, and every phase had some learnings to be learned. तो इस तरीके से currently हमारा जो phase है, that's full of wars. The tariff wars are there, normal country cross border wars भी हो रहे हैं. So again, there is instability, but let's hope that things get sorted out sooner or later. So I hope you all have understood what has been taught in today's video. If you have any doubt, you can post them down into the comment section. Again, if there is any mistake from my end with respect to any facts been quoted wrong, any information been given out wrong, then you can do tell me. You can do write that in the comment section and reach out to me. So I hope you all have understood. Thank you so much, and see you soon in the next video.